rivalry week here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The Wildcats and the Cardinals getting ready to do battle here in Louisville. The Governor's Cup at stake, the 37th edition of the Governor's Cup. And things got a little chippy before the game, several hours before the game. A couple of scuffles already in warm-ups. And welcome inside L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium alongside Super Bowl champion and Virginia Cavalier Rodney McLeod. I'm George Sedano. Victoria Arlen will join us in just a second. Rod, you've been part of these rivalry games. This one, as we saw, already got chippy. What is it like to be in a situation like this?
It's a prideful game. It's rivalry week. Records don't matter. They're all irrelevant. And look, it comes down early in this football game on how these two football teams manage their emotions, settle in, and play their brand of football if they want to walk away with the Governor's Cup.
All right, well, let's take a look at how Kentucky plans to do this. Cutter Boley, what makes him so special at quarterback?
Cutter Boley, he's 6'5", 220. Look, he is a big quarterback, plays tall in the pocket, really good frame and size, steps into his throws, has good vision of the field as well, and delivers the football to a multitude of wide receivers. Coach Bush Hamden, offensive coordinator, he described him in 2 words, tough and composed. He's going to need to do that a lot today versus a stingy Cardinals defense if they want to win today.
Yeah, you see the vision there. Youngster, former 4-star recruit, stayed home in Lexington. And there are his numbers his last 6 games. For more on the quarterback situation, let's check in with Victoria.
With injuries on both sides, George, this game is going to be a test of depth, resilience, and being able to control the emotions that come with a rivalry game. But the big topic in Louisville all week has been in the quarterback department with their main guy, Miller Moss. He's been out with an injury, a foot injury, and questionable all week, but he is expected to start. Head coach Jeff Brom has mentioned that we could expect to see multiple quarterbacks possibly playing again, George.
All right, Victoria, he did suffer that foot injury in a weightlifting accident, we were told, Rod. Deuce Adams, of course, could play as well, as Victoria mentioned, the backup quarterback. But what does Miller Moss bring to the table?
Moss's presence and experience just like brings immediate juice and life to this football team, offense in particular, but then on the other side, the defense. Knowing that Miller Moss is capable of keeping drives alive is very important. And this is a defense that's very disruptive, led by their defensive line. They play aggressive, they play with urgency, their linebackers get downhill. And look, this is a defense that pursues turnovers. They do it from their art of disguise ability and their pressure alignments, and it should be a great game for them, and they'll try to look to confuse Cutter Boley a lot.
A top 25 defense in FBS, Louisville, in yards per game. Louisville won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. They kick it off with Keller. This one bounces into the end zone as Kendrick Law lets it go past him. And Cutter Boley will come out here. Cutter Boley, as we referenced earlier, a 4-star recruit, stayed home in Lexington. His high school ball was played 15 minutes away from campus. It means a lot, certainly, to stay home, recruited by the likes of Michigan, but felt like he could do something special with his hometown squad.
Yeah, hometown kid, tough, poised, really a likable guy in the locker room, and it's the same guy every single day, which has allowed him to just transcend this offense and be a leader that they count on a lot.
And Boley starts off in the gun. Seth McGowan to his right. A quick toss there to Kendrick Law. And Louisville covers him up pretty quickly. Tackle made by D'Angelo Hutchinson and Jabari Mack. So a short gain there of 4.
Law will get involved in this game in a handful of ways. You know, whether he's in a slot, being Boley's primary outlet, lined up in the backfield. They like to create a lot of packages for him based on the game. So look for him to get involved a lot today.
Law, good guy with the ball in his hands. He makes things happen out there. Hernandez in motion for the Wildcats. A quick toss out of the backfield to McGowan. McGowan tries to spin out of trouble, but stood up at the 30-yard line. Hutchinson there with the tackle, a 2-yard gain. 3rd down coming up. So 3rd down upcoming here, 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats.
And you see they lined up quickly, George, because the Cardinals, they're a pressure team. They like to bring a lot at the quarterback and confuse them, so they're not giving them a chance to get ready to pressure.
Here comes Boley, connects near the marker. They'll give him enough for the first down. It's J.J. Hester, who had a touchdown last week late in the game against Vandy, a 6-yard gain.
That's Boley's strength. It's his quick release. If you play zone, he's going to find the soft spots a lot today.
Boley going fast here. They give it to McGowan. McGowan stood up at the 39-yard line. JoJo Evans with the tackle. Gain of 4.
McGowan, he's a tough runner, does a lot of work in between the tackles. He's just steady and sturdy. He doesn't have the long run ability, but he picks up 5, 10, 15. They add up over a course of a game.
They will officially give him a 3-yard gain there. 2nd and 7. McGowan again. And Louisville snuffs that one out. TJ Capers first on the scene. About 1.5 yards. So it'll be 3rd down and still manageable for the Wildcats.
This Cardinals defense, they need this defensive line to play big today versus this Kentucky offensive line in order to stop the run. But here we are, 3rd and 5, and you see the Cardinals are already getting into what looks like a punt formation, punt return formation. Everybody's hanging at the line of scrimmage very tight, and look for them to disperse as the play unfolds.
Diamond formation at the bottom of the screen for the Wildcats. Boley drops back. Pressure surrounding him, throws it incomplete, intended for Rodriguez. Willie Rodriguez, the tight end, was behind him, so the Wildcats forced to punt.
In order for the Cardinals to have a chance today, they have to muddy the picture for Boley. Those are areas where he struggled this year. Those final picture looks, he's thrown into coverage and it resulted into a lot of interceptions. Just a good well-executed play by the Cardinals defense.
Laros to punt it. Colin Lacey lets this one bounce at the 19, and it goes out of bounds there. So Louisville will start their drive at about the 20-yard line. Miller Moss is coming out on the field. We mentioned earlier, dealing with a foot injury. But Miller Moss, he's had some ups and downs with this squad, but he's toughing it out today, Rod.
He is, and they need him, his leadership ability, his experience. He's seen a lot of ball, and it comes into to help in games like these, especially where your offense, after last week, didn't have much success.
They'll look to test the secondary of Kentucky, who's missing 6 guys from last week. Boykin starts in the backfield. Moss drops back with plenty of time. Fires over the middle. It's complete to Antonio Meeks. Stays on his feet and dives forward near midfield to the 48-yard line. Moss looking good right there, a 23-yard gain.
This is well done by the offensive line, giving Miller Moss a clear picture to find that window on the 2nd level. And a nice start for Miller Moss.
A first down for Louisville. DJ Waller is down for Kentucky, who came into this game a little dinged up to begin with. Waller on his feet, the junior from Youngstown, Ohio, a transfer from Michigan.
Yeah, it's imperative for Moss to get off to a quick start. He's a rhythmic thrower. Means he needs to see completions early on for him to have success. And that's a great way to start. He's getting the quarterback involved early, settling into this football game.
So Grant Grayton, number 30, will check in at corner from Laurel, Maryland. Good Counsel High School.
Good Counsel. Rivalry of DeMatha.
That's your squad, DeMatha.
Yeah, one DeMatha, man. Shout out to all my Stags out there.
So Grant Grayton, the true freshman, now in at corner. Moss in the gun from the 48. He's going to throw again, back to the air, again to Meeks. Meeks wrapped up, though, just past midfield by Grant Grayton, the true freshman getting tested early. A 5-yard gain, though, for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Grayton is going to be tested a lot because the better players of Louisville live on the outside part of the field. Without guys like Isaac Brown, Keywan Brown, and Watson, they're going to look to pass the ball a lot today.
Play action, pump fake for Moss. Pocket collapsing. Moss spinning out of trouble for the moment. Ball is on the ground.
Bring on the field's a fumble recovered by the offense. 3rd down.
So Louisville able to pounce on it. Forced fumble there by Lorenzo Cowan.
And Moss just needs to have better time and had to get rid of the football, but this is has a lot to do probably with that foot. This is inability to be able to escape the lineman and pressure of Kentucky.
And Trevante Sylvester, the left tackle, able to pounce on that one. It's 3rd down and 11 now for the Cardinals. Moss dropping back under pressure again, avoids one defender, throws on the run, incomplete towards the sideline. So Moss not able to connect with Colin Lacey there. Quayshawn Scott in coverage, and you see Lacey limping off the field.
Not a good sign for the Cardinals to having Lacey come out, but Scott just really good coverage, sticking with his man, closing in and getting that right hand in there for a nice pass breakup to get his team off the field.
David Chapeau to punt it for Louisville. Kendrick Law back to receive it at his own 15 for the Wildcats. Lacey came into this game dinged up, so we'll keep an eye on that. Would be a big injury for Louisville, already missing Chris Bell. Kendrick Law with the fair catch at the 10-yard line. We'll step aside. Scoreless here in the Governor's Cup here in Louisville. We're scoreless here in Louisville between the Wildcats and the Cardinals early here in the first quarter. Fans fired up. Mark Stoops, 13th season, 72-79 record, 5-5 against his rival here in state in the Commonwealth. Had made 8 straight bowl appearances prior to last season. He's had a successful run here in Kentucky. Dowdell with a big run up the middle. He gets some good yardage there. JoJo Evans with the tackle. Here's a season summary for Kentucky. Started off 2-1, and they lost 4 games, have won 3 out of 4 here heading into this one. Lost last week against Vandy.
They just really found their stride over the course of this past month. A lot has to do with the play of Cutter Boley.
6-yard run for Dowdell earlier. Boley under center. Hands it off on the jet sweep to Law. Law trying to turn the corner. He does, and picks up the first down. Knocked down past the 30-yard line. Caleb Perry with the tackle.
You're this Cardinals defense. You have to know where Law is aligned every single play. He's a guy that you circle because they do a lot with him.
Picked up 15 on that one. Boley in the gun. Pump fakes. Now he's going to run towards his left. He's got room to run there. Slides down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Boley's not the most athletic player, but he's used his legs a number of times this year to pick up some positive yardage when his teams needed it.
Gained 4 on that play. Seeing some substitutions here now for Louisville's defense.
Kentucky seeming to go with some tempo. It was effective for SMU last week versus the Cardinals defense.
Dowdell again to the 38-yard line. 3-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 3 upcoming.
And 3rd and 3, this is where Kentucky's offense, they like to bring in jet motions to get their receivers leverage versus the Cardinals defenders a lot, especially if they choose to play man-to-man. So look for some movement here from the team.
We already saw Kendrick Law earlier with some of that movement. Took the jet sweep for 15 yards. Boley in the gun. Takes the snap. Fires over the middle. It's complete for a first down. As he gets to the 45-yard line, Boley fires it in there to Cameron Miller, the true freshman.
It's a nice concept here. We call this a spot concept. You have a guy in the flat, a second receiver doing a hitch, and then the last guy is running a 7 or a corner route, and it's perfect versus zone. You allow the defenders, the offense, to high-low the wide receiver, the defenders, if they play zone.
Only the 12th catch of the year for young Cameron Miller. Boley takes the snap, pump fake, pressure in his face, throws one up. Out of bounds, though, as he takes a hit there by Clev Lubin. Let's take a look at Rod's nods for Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville's defense, the defensive line has to control the line of scrimmage. They have to be stout up front versus this SEC offensive line, and then they have to play tighter coverage on earlier downs to get Kentucky behind the sticks. If you stay and play zone, Cutter Boley will hurt you.
Boley in the gun here on 2nd and 10. 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Boley, play fake with time. Lets one rip down the sideline. Dangerous pass. And it's knocked away. JoJo Evans there in coverage, intended for DJ Miller. It'll be 3rd and long upcoming, 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats.
Good job by JoJo Evans in getting off the hash, reading the odds of Cutter Boley, and then going to get it. You see him in his back pedal. Just really good tempo and a good break, believing what he sees. And 3rd and 10, this works in the favor of the Cardinals defense. They're going to line up in a pressure look and get back and play zone, keep everything in front, keep the roof of the defense, and rally and tackle.
Kentucky 2 of 3 on 3rd down today. Boley drops back, pressure coming, and Boley taken down at the 35-yard line. Wesley Bailey, the 5th-year senior, the transfer from Rutgers, took down Boley.
Wes Bailey, he's a power rusher, and they like to line him up in the inside part of the defense on 3rd downs, and there was just a nice stunt done up front, and he was the beneficiary of it, wrapping around nice and tight and finding Boley in the backfield.
Kleb Lubin was coming around that corner, and then Bailey took care of business. Colin Lacey back out there, was limping. And many flags now fly here, several on the field.
Kicking team number 81, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Willie Rodriguez, the sophomore tight end, had a good game last week against Vanderbilt. 6 catches for 78 yards, but the infraction there. And they're going to depend on him in the passing game. But they need him to block here and not jump. But listen, that Louisville front is a ferocious front. We documented how good they are defensively, and they are crowding the line of scrimmage. Laros to punt, and they block it! Louisville blocks it! Recovered! Down the sideline and pushed out of bounds! Near the 10-yard line is Terrence McWilliams Jr. And the home team swinging momentum early here with special teams.
All it takes is one play, George, and special teams is the perfect play for it, because you only have one opportunity to make a game-changing play, and the Cardinals special teams unit does that on this great block, just getting your hands up there.
Eric Hazard.
Good job by Hazard.
Yeah.
I mean, comes through, times it up well, puts a palm up there, and changes the game for his team and puts the offense in great field position.
Eric Hazard with that block, Terrence McWilliams Jr. with the return, and Louisville will begin goal to goal. Moss in the gun, Braxton Jennings, the true freshman walk-on running back there. Takes the carry, tries to bounce it to the outside, gets inside the 5, and down near the 2-yard line.
Good run by Jennings there, just tough running in between those tackles, and good push by the offensive line. That's where it all started.
Here are the red zone numbers this season for Louisville. 4th in the ACC. They're going a heavy set here, the Cardinals are. 6 offensive linemen out there. Jackson Panarello, the fullback, out there blocking along the offensive line. Moss under center. They toss it. And just shy of the marker there, and the goal line is Braxton Jennings. 2-yard gain, it'll be 3rd and goal.
And they had Jennings offset there slightly in the backfield to give them leverage when they toss the ball out. And they almost had it, but they got to line up, and they got to do it again. It's a rivalry game. These Wildcats, they're not walking away easy. Nothing for free in these games.
Moss in the gun. I formation. Jennings tries to power his way in. He did not get there. Stopped at the goal line by Austin Ramsey, the sophomore from Philadelphia.
Really on the field as a runner is short of the goal line. 4th down.
Can't tell there with that sea of humanity.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know where the ball is, though.
Yeah, it was Ramsey that came behind.
4th and goal, they're going to go for it. Moss dives over, takes a big hit, but gets in the end zone for the touchdown. Sneaks it in. Took the hit from Alex Afari Jr., but Louisville strikes first.
This was all created by the momentum shift of the special teams unit. We talked to head coach Jeff Brom. He talked about the importance of special teams. All 3 phases of the game matter, and this was one that they were looking to have an edge in, not only in the return game with Colin Lacey, but a punt block that now set them up for a touchdown by Miller Moss.
And that was only the 10th 4th down attempt this season for Louisville, fewest in the nation by a decent amount. But they score nonetheless. The block punt there by Hazard. And then McWilliams ran it to the 10. They eventually get the touchdown with Miller Moss. They lead 7-0, the Cardinals on top. UK leading the all-time series 20-16. But Kentucky has won 4 straight here in this building. By the way, Miller Moss, his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. On that last drive, Keller boosts this one through the end zone. And we'll see Cutter Boley again.
And what's got the Wildcats in trouble, George, these past 2 drives have been when you put yourself in 3rd and long situations, they have to make sure that they stay ahead of the chains. The times where they've been 3rd and 5 or less, they've converted. 3rd and 8+, over.
Cutter Boley, when we asked him about the rivalry, says, look, I'm a local kid. It means a lot. My first start was in this game last year. He said he grew up understanding that this game meant everything to this state. Everywhere you go, it's red or blue. Boley in the gun. Finds his man McGowan out of the backfield. He's spun out of bounds near the 35-yard line. TJ Quinn there to wrap him up. It'll be 2nd and short upcoming. McGowan limping a little bit there after the 8-yard gain.
And that's their answer to pressure, George, is 5 out, getting the running backs out in the flats early. And if you're Cardinals defense, you got to pay attention to that.
2nd and 2. Dowdell puts his head down, picks up the first down, a 3-yard gain, but a flag on the field.
Offside. Defense number 19 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
That's Justin Beatles, the 5th-year senior from Atlanta, Georgia. Transfer from New Mexico State. He also made the tackle on the play. When you look at this Kentucky offense, it's been a work in progress, certainly. They have struggled on the road, only scoring 13.5 points per game. Play action for Boley. Over the middle, complete to Rodriguez, his tight end, near midfield. Gets into Louisville territory and a first down to the 47-yard line.
A nice play fake by the Wildcats, and then finding their big target, Rodriguez, over the middle, right behind the linebackers.
Boley drops back again with time. Dumps it off to Dowdell, breaks 1 tackle, and gets inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. It'll be 2nd down upcoming after the 9-yard gain. They're going fast. Kentucky now moving with some tempo. Dowdell, a big back, 227 pounds in the pistol formation. Dowdell straight ahead, picks up the first down as he gets inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. 5-yard gain. Dowdell, his last 3 games.
really good contact balance, and he's one of the bigger running backs between the two of them. He's a load to work with.
Louisville showing blitz. Here they come. Boley in trouble, throws one up for grabs. Nobody in the area, though. TJ Quinn with the pressure right up the middle. And there's the flag.
Early on the field, the ball was not tipped by the defense. Intentional grounding offense. The Boley placed the spot of the foul with the loss of down. Second down.
Yep, TJ Quinn with the pressure. And JoJo Evans there. They thought Evans may have gotten a finger on it, but that was not the case.
I thought so as well. That's what it looked like to me on the pressure. He got his hand right there in the position of the ball, but nonetheless, they called a flag. And this is what Vanderbilt showed on tape last week versus Cutter Boley. They did a lot of cover zero pressure, a lot of crowd in the line of scrimmage, and it frustrated Boley a lot last week and the offensive line. So the Cardinals taking a page out of their playbook.
As you see there, did not get a hand on it. Just an errant pass. Two tight ends out there for Kentucky to help with the pass rush. Boley, a quick toss to Law. Law gets to the outside and out of bounds. Just past the original line of scrimmage, actually just short of the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 11.
Yeah, good play call just to get some yardage back. Get in the hands of Law, who's a good runner in space. Set up a 3rd and 11. And here, you don't want to necessarily, you don't have to get all of it. Just get half and set yourself up for a field goal if you're Boley on the roll here.
Jason Patterson in at tailback for the first time, the sophomore. Law in motion. Boley drops back. Throws too high for his intended target. Hardley Gilmore, the 4th. The sophomore from Belle Glade, Florida, transfer from Nebraska. 4th down.
Boley's going to be frustrated with himself because he had Ferrier wide open, running a shallow cross right in front of him. He opts to throw it into a crowd and see a Cardinals.
Jacob Coway to attempt the field goal here of 52 yards. His long for the season is 51. He's 13 of 16 on the season. 1 of 3 from 50 plus. High snap. The kick is up, and it is well short. No good. Wide right and well short. The Cardinals holding on to a 7-0 lead here in the Governor's Cup.
All right, take a look at this last 3rd down here. You have Ferrier at the top. He's going to run a shallow cross. And as he does that, freeze it, he's wide open, and Boley totally misses him, and able to set them up for a closer field goal.
Yep, and they missed one from 52 yards, which would have been a long for their quarterback. Miller Moss, he goes long down the field, and high-pointing the catch there is Dakari Counts. No, they're going to say he's down. They're going to say he's down. All right, so he does high-point it and
Really on the field, a completed pass for a 1st down.
So again, running cover 3 in the back end, crosses the safety's face. Ty Bryant, and he just goes up, climbs the ladder, and comes down with a great catch by Collins.
So 1st down already in Wildcats territory. Moss slinging it around the field despite the foot injury. Boykins in the backfield with him. Play action. Moss pressure in his face. Checks it down. Boykins on the run there. And taken down inside the 20. It's Jaleel Skinner, the tight end. 17-yard gain and a 1st down.
It's the strength of this Cardinals offense. If they're able to generate explosives, they're dangerous for defense. And they're on the first play after a missed field goal, a huge chunk play to set them up, and a back-to-back chunk plays, to be honest.
Jeff Brom in his bag right now with this offensive group. Moss On the run, has a man. It's caught there. It's Collins again inside the 5. Dakari Collins, his 13th catch of the season, a flag on the play.
Ineligible receiver downfield, offense number 60. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
That's Rashid Miller, the right tackle. Miller, the 5th-year senior, transfer from Georgia Southern. 28 seconds to go and counting. 1st and 15 for the Cardinals. Moss under center. Offset I in the backfield. They fake it to Boykins, fake it to Lacey. Moss throws it to the ground. Lacey was hoping to get it on a wide receiver screen, but Moss off target there. 2nd and 15, 8 seconds to go in the quarter.
Try to set up a screen and go. Grab the attention of the defense to Lacey and then hit the verticals. But a good job by the Kentucky defense staying at home.
Moss in the gun, empty set. Now Lacey goes across the screen to the top of the formation. Moss drops back, good protection, fires, almost intercepted, dangerous pass intended for Dakari Collins, again testing Grant Grayton, the true freshman, but a flag on the field. And that one against Louisville as well.
Ineligible player downfield, offense number 85. The tight end was covered and it was ineligible to go downfield on a forward pass. The penalty is declined. Result of the play is a 3rd down.
Nate Kariski, the redshirt junior. Deuce Adams checking in at quarterback at the moment. He started last week against SMU, redshirt freshman from Austin, Texas. Vandergrift High School.
Could be some sort of quarterback run to make this a shorter field goal, George.
He hands it off to Lacey on the jet sweep, and he gets down to the 15. And that'll do it for the first quarter. Louisville leading 7-0 off a block punt. They scored a touchdown, and they are threatening again in the red zone.
Welcome back to Louisville. The Cardinals with the 7-0 lead against Kentucky. And speaking of Kentucky, Coach Stoops, from what you saw in the first, how do you plan to handle the pressure that Louisville is presenting?
Yeah, we got to get rid of the football on one of the tips there. Didn't do a good job of picking up the A-gap blitzer with our running back. He missed them. And then they got another pressure with a 3-man twist. We just got to do a better job of passing it off. And not getting in predictable pass. 3rd and long is going to be tough.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Victoria Cooper-Ranvier with the field goal. 34-yarder is good. So Louisville capitalizing the early 10-0 lead. Rod, what did you make of what Coach Stoops had to say?
Everything he's saying is accurate. And I think on the defensive side of things, what they need to do is eliminate the Cardinals' ability to get chunk plays and explosives. The reason why they've been so stingy on defense and had a lot of success over the course of this past month has a lot to do with their ability to not allow those sort of plays to take place. Keep things in front of them, allow teams to drive down the field. You know, I talked about it, Roz, not long drives is their recipe and where they want the Cardinals to live.
Yeah, those explosives in the passing game have hurt them all season long. They're giving up nearly 13 yards a catch, 2nd worst in the SEC. Hey, rivalry weekend continues on ACC Network. Coming up next, 3:30 Eastern, Duke hosting Wake Forest. And then, of course, staying on Tobacco Road, North Carolina at NC State at 7:30 Eastern. Both games also available on the all-new ESPN app. Bill Belichick versus Dave Dorn in the nightcap. You got Manny Diaz versus Jake Dickert. All Carolina after us. Keller with the boot here as the Cardinals leading 10-0. Returned there by Law. Right up the middle. Finds a seam. Flags on the field and taken down past the 35-yard line by Nick Keller, the kicker. But we'll see what the laundry's about. There's 2 flags on the field.
During the return, holding return team number 53. The penalty's half the distance from the spot of the foul. First down, Kentucky.
That's Abaselm. And you see there how it all went down. So Kentucky again starting deep in their own territory now at the 9-yard line.
Making it difficult on themselves, and the minute you thought they would have a good special teams play of their own by Law, costly penalty, backs him up, and now they have to go 90.
Jason Patterson in the backfield now. In the pistol formation, 2 tight ends out there for Boley. Patterson testing the right side. Tries to turn the corner, doesn't get much on that one as D'Angelo Hutchinson was able to chase him down. 3-yard gain.
They have to continue to establish their run game. You know, Kentucky, they like a good balance between run and pass, and it's imperative that they continue to push forward on these runs just to stay ahead of the chains, as Coach Stoops talked about.
And again, Jason Patterson in the backfield. Seth McGowan limped off the field earlier. Dante Dowdell has played in this one as well. Boley drops back. Got time. He's going to show off his wheels here a little bit, and wrapped up at the 16 by TJ Quinn. It's a 4-yard gain. 3rd and 3 upcoming. They're going fast. Boley changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
And you see the reason for their tempo, Jordan, is to get the defense to declare what they want to do right now.
We'll see if the Wildcats can take advantage of it. Louisville rushes 5, and they get Boley again. Cleb Lubin, another sack, his 6th of the season. Lubin caused the first one where Wesley Bailey took advantage of it and registered the sack, but Lubin has been everywhere today early on.
This defensive line is disruptive as disruptive gets, and there Lubin, he's just doing a nice long arm, walking the tackle back, and then falling right into the lap of Boley for a sack.
Aiden Laros to punt it. Again, we have a new long snapper here. Laros punts it. Lacey retreating, fields it inside his 30. He's going to run for it. Makes one man miss, cuts back inside, flag on the field, headed towards the outside and out of bounds in Wildcat territory, but 2 flags on the field, one at the 32 and another near midfield. A 58-yard punt, 23-yard return. We'll see what the flag is about. Our referee today, Jason Autry. Could be a block in the back. Yeah, right there, we saw it. That looked to be Raymond Mosby. But there are 2 flags on the field. Still conferencing. Jason Autry with his crew. And the officials explaining to Mark Stoops.
There are multiple fouls by the receiving team. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, receiving team number 40. That penalty is declined. During the return, illegal block in the back, return team number 30. The penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down for Louisville at that spot. Timeout.
So Eric Hazard with the personal foul. That one's waved off. But Raymond Mosby with the block in the back. 10-0 Louisville. Catch both nights on the ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. Miller Moss and company back out on the field on their own 20. Moss on the roll towards the sideline, complete to Trayshawn Hurry. So Hurry picks up 7 on that one. It'll be 2nd and 3 upcoming.
It's a nice, well-designed play. First down, soft zone outside. Saw the cornerback great. Bail on the snap, taking what the defense gives him.
Moss looks good out there thus far. Braxton Jennings, the walk-on freshman at tailback. So many injuries to the tailback position for Louisville. Here's Jennings, gets to the 30, should have enough for the first down. No decision yet. They're going to say he's just. Are they going to give him the first down? We have not decided yet. They have not moved the chains, and now they will move the chains finally. So it is a first down. I know it's cold out there, but everyone needs to stay moving if it's cold. So even the chain gang. Hands off to Jennings again. Jennings gets down to the 5. Gerard Smith with the tackle. Let's check in on Rod's nods here for the defense for Kentucky.
As I mentioned earlier, George, Kentucky wants to force the Cardinals into long drives. Don't give up the chunk plays, and then tackling well on the perimeter. The ball's going to be outside a lot, giving the chance to their skill players, so they have to make sure that they hold up well.
Chris Hughes in the backfield. He flares out. Moss stepping up in the pocket. He's going to tuck it and run. That foot injury, remember, he's dealing with. He gets the first down, and he has toughened this one out, man, to try to get the victory here. A 13-yard gain.
Yeah, limping and all, George. Moss putting it all on the line. That's what you want to see from your quarterback and your leader of your football team.
Moss and company on the move here near midfield.
Have the defense off balance right now. They've opened up the pass game, and the run has come alive a few times in this drive.
Moss towards the sideline to Hurry, and Hurry wrapped up inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play, 2nd and 1 upcoming. Let's check in with Victoria with an injury update for Kentucky.
On the defense side for Kentucky, we had DJ Waller. He went down earlier in the first. He slowly walked into the tent with the help of 2 trainers. He had a hamstring injury that he was battling prior to this, and he has now been listed as questionable because that hamstring on the left has been acting up.
All right, Victoria, thank you so much. They're also missing David Gusta, their nose tackle at the moment. And this time, Braxton Jennings taken down, immediately met in the backfield by Gerard Smith, a 2-yard loss on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3 upcoming.
That's a big play for this defense. They need to create more havoc up front, get more penetration in the backfield, and typically they like to do it with a lot of defensive line movement. So a good play by Smith at creating this 3rd and 3 situation. They got to tighten up right here in the back end. Gray's been a guy that's given up a few passes on the outside playing soft coverage. This is a moment where you got to tighten down to get a body on a body.
Louisville has Deuce Adams in at quarterback. You'd mentioned Rod. He can move, and here he is on the run. Louisville 0 for 3 on 3rd down. Make it 0 for 4 thus far today. Nobody fooled by Deuce Adams being in there at quarterback.
And good play recognition by the defense here. 13 checks in, knowing it's going to be some sort of quarterback run, and it was a quarterback power, and they were ready for it, George.
Yep, Alex Afari Jr. and Gerard Smith again. We've called his name 3 times on this drive alone. It's 4th down here. Louisville's offense staying on the field. They need 1 yard. Again, they've only gone for it 10 times the entire season. They're 5 of 10 converting on 4th down this season. Offset eye, Moss back in there. He throws it wide open to Stewart, the tight end, and he gets in the end zone for a touchdown. Jacob Stewart, the 5th-year senior. They told us seldomly used, but could get in there today. His 4th catch of the season. This one, his first touchdown of the season.
I was going to say it, George. This is the area where they like to use that play fake, and it works to perfection. And you see Moss showing the action of the run, and then Stewart wide open in the back end. the entire Kentucky defense laying out for the run game, and they forgot about
Set the
Stewart.
play clock to 25 seconds. It'll start on the ready for play.
You got to feel good for a guy on senior day like that, Jacob Stewart, getting that touchdown.
Those are the hardest normally to catch when you're wide open and the ball is taking forever to get to you. But good job by the concentration by Stewart to catch it and then get in the end zone.
Ranvier, the extra point is up and good. A 43-yard score. Moss's first touchdown pass since week 10 at Virginia Tech gets it to Jacob Stewart. Miller Moss and company rolling right now, up 17-0. Welcome back here to Louisville. They lead 17-0. And a big strike, a 43-yard touchdown connection, Rod.
Yeah, the linebacker Watson has Jacob Stewart in coverage, and you see just not keeping his eyes on his luggage, and instead Stewart ends up wide open. Just eyes in the backfield, and
Now Law will field it. And Law taken down just past the 20 to the 21-yard line. Cutter Boley will come out again. Boley, again a 4-star recruit, stayed home. Bush Hamden, the offensive coordinator who spent some time as a QB coach in the NFL, told us, Rod, he's a NFL-type prospect, still very young, though, at this stage of his career in college.
Yeah, and he's done well for them, George. Like I said earlier, he has all of the intangibles, but also the size and stature to be a good quarterback.
Pistol formation, play action, Boley in trouble, gets around one defender, floats one, incomplete, out of bounds, intended for Jamori Macklin. JoJo Evans in coverage. And Boley's having to dodge defenders constantly back there, Rod.
That defensive line, disruptive as disruptive gets right now, and they took away a huge opportunity for the Wildcats. They had Macklin wide open because of the pressure of the defensive line. Boley had to dodge them, and he was unable to see it. By the time he saw it, he was on the sidelines, and that's why it was a bad throw.
Pistol formation again on 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. They hand it off, straight ahead. It's Dante Dowdell. TJ Quinn with the tackle after a gain of 3. Let's check in with Victoria quickly.
All right, I got 2 injury updates for Kentucky. We had Seth McGowan. He is dealing with a groin injury. He is questionable right now. That's number 3. And then we had David Gusta, number 60. He has a right calf injury that he is dealing with currently. He's been limping on the sidelines. He is listed as questionable as well. But with Seth, I've seen him trying to run through some drills, but still questionable.
All right, Victoria, thank you very much. 3rd and 7 here. Gusta the nose tackle, but McGowan the tailback who started the game. Boley finds his man on a crosser. It's Macklin, turns the corner, out of bounds, but a flag comes in. Should have enough for the first down at the 35, but we'll see what the flag is about.
During the run, holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 3rd down.
Wow, and that one is a crusher for the Wildcats.
Costly penalty by one of your best players in Law. And again, I know he's trying hard. He sees his receiver get the ball in space, and he knows how much this first down means to him. But there you see Law just has his arms on the outside pad of Mac up on the shoulder pads, and that's going to be a flag, every single time. And now they're forced into 3rd and long again, where this defensive line has really hurt them.
And where Coach Stoops told Victoria they don't want to live. Boley, pressure coming. He had no chance on that one. Taken down inside his 10. A.J. Green coming hot off the corner. The 4th sack of the game for the Cardinals.
A.J. Green is one of their best edge rushers. They bring him in these passing situations for these reasons right here. But this is unacceptable. You have 3 defensive linemen up on the field there, and you have 5 offensive linemen to block them. And nobody blocks A.J. Green. I don't understand it. Everything starts with understanding your assignment. And right there, A.J. Green clearly was the assignment of the offensive tackle.
Laros punts this one. They got one earlier on a block. And this one taking a Kentucky bounce. Lacey will field it at his 31. Breaking tackles, sprinting down the sideline and pushed out of bounds near midfield. A 54-yard punt, a 15-yard return. Quaysheed Scott pushed him out. Good starting territory for the Cardinals coming up. Control here at home in the Governor's Cup. Miller Moss dealing with a foot injury, didn't play last week against SMU. Off to a good start here with the Cardinals. Play action. Moss, pressure in his face, throws, almost intercepted. Davron Rayner had it in his hands, but could not haul it in. You could see him in disbelief. Moss dodges a bullet there.
Rayner's one of the better athletes that they have at this second level, and he does a perfect job at just reading the eyes of Miller Moss, getting right into the window, just had to secure the bag. And I know that's going to haunt him later on in this football game.
2nd and 10 for Moss and company. They give it to Boykins on the left side. Big hole, dives forward, past the marker. Ty Bryant eventually tripped him up. An 11-yard gain and a first down.
Really good run by Boykins. And today, the run game is more just keeping the defense honest. You know, they don't have their home run hitters, but both Jennings and Boykins today have generated some good runs.
No Isaac Brown, no Keywan Brown, no Duke Watson. They're 3 top rushers. So Braxton Jennings, a true freshman, and Sean Boykins running it today. And a run here by Boykins. A converted running back from wide receiver has another first down. Cam Dooley with a big hit. We'll see what the flag is about.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 18. The previous play is under video review.
And that is Dooley, the sophomore from Alabama. So they'll take a look at that. We'll take one more look here. Oh, yeah. 6-inch radius of the crown of the helmet. Does make helmet-to-helmet contact, but the 6-inch radius around the crown of the helmet is the definition of targeting. He does lead with his head. They were dealing with already one player in the secondary, Dylan Williams, who was out last week, or out this week rather, due to a targeting last week. And already thin in the secondary. We touched upon it to begin the broadcast. 6 guys down in the secondary for Kentucky.
It's hard to overcome. And I just would like to see Dooley there just kind of lead more with it, with his shoulder, and bring his arms into the frame of the offensive runner there to avoid that head-on collision. Just the technical side of things. We put him in a poor position.
We see what the review crew is looking at. They are looking to see if it is indeed the crown of the helmet or that 6-inch radius that I referred to earlier. It was called targeting on the field. Again, they need indisputable evidence to the contrary to overturn. If not, it will be upheld.
After video review, there is no foul for targeting. The result of play is a first down.
Wow. So Kentucky dodges one there, and they're saying that it was not the 6-inch radius at the crown of the helmet, that it was the side of the helmet. I don't know, that looks close to me, man.
It is close. You know, I mean, and especially because of the position of Boykins too, the vulnerability of him as a runner. But again, like I talked about, you know, you just want to see Dooley there just finish with his arms, putting his shoulder more on the runner than the helmet, because at the end of the day, those sort of plays are going to come back, and you want to make sure that you are technically sound.
Either way, Boykins picked up the first down, as I mentioned. There he is deep in the backfield. Moss under center. Lacey in motion. They give it to Lacey on the jet sweep on the left side. And Lacey, he picks up 9 yards on that one. Colin Lacey, kind of a do-it-all receiver. They give him the ball on jet sweep, sometimes out of the backfield. And he's certainly one of the more productive receivers. And without Chris Bell today, as we mentioned earlier, he is someone that they're going to target a lot.
Lacey's a dynamic football player. Leaders in the all-purpose category.
5 different players for Louisville have rushed the ball. 14 carries for 64 yards at the moment. 2nd and 1. High snap. Boykins busted out on the left side, but 2 flags trailing the play. They'll have the first down, but we'll see what the infractions are.
There are multiple fouls on the play. Holding, offense number 66. Personal foul, hands to the face, defense number 94. Those fouls offset. Repeat, 2nd down.
So that's Mac Pounders, the tackle, 5th-year senior for Louisville, and Tavion Gatson, the sophomore defensive lineman for Kentucky.
You see Gatson, that right arm right into the face mask. But Kentucky, they need their playmakers to make a play. You know, it's time, and Rayner had a chance at that, but they have to find a way to just make a play. They're on their heels too much.
2nd and 1, Moss under center. Boykins takes it on the left side, has the first down, and stood up at the 20. Jonquise Hardaway tackled him, but a 4-yard gain and a first down, and the Cardinals in the red zone again.
What I mean by make a play is not to play hero ball, but just do your 111 to the best of your ability. That's what's needed right now.
Yeah, do your job. Defensively, this is a group that, a senior group that they're proud of. When we spoke to Brad White, their defensive coordinator, talked about their competitive toughness. Struggles early on in the season, but kept fighting and have played much better as the season progressed. Moss connects over the middle for a first down to the 9-yard line to Antonio Meeks. 1st and goal, Cardinals.
This offense is just in full control right now. Just a nice combination of play designs. You know, you get a run-off tackle, then you come back, you get an RPO slant. This well execution right now by this offense. A lot has to do with Miller Moss's play.
Pistol formation. Boykins in the backfield. Boykins takes the handoff. Boykins with a seam inside the 5. Ty Bryant saved what could have been a touchdown there, a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and goal coming up as we approach the 2-minute timeout. Down to the 3-yard line.
They're finding some life with Boykins, and you see him there saying, keep it rolling.
Feed me, man. That's what he wants. The redshirt freshman converted from receiver to running back, getting his opportunity with all the injuries that we mentioned at running back. Boykins 4 carries, 31 yards, all on this drive.
2-minute timeout of the
2-minute timeout. Louisville up 17 and looking to tack on some more. The ESPN app, a day like today is a fantastic time for that. You can watch up to 4 games at once. This one here, Louisville in command, 17-0 coming out of the 2-minute timeout. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 3 as they look to take an even more commanding lead here in the Governor's Cup. Pistol formation for Moss. Boykins behind him. Boykins this time met immediately. A loss on the play. Mikeese Humphrey Grace was first there, a 3-yard loss. 3rd down and goal from the 6.
Kentucky has called their first charge timeout of the half. It's 30 seconds in length. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute
by
and 54
Kentucky.
seconds. 1:54. Thank you.
Mark Stoops wants to talk this thing over, and also as they have 2 left, we'll have an opportunity to try to put up some points on the other side. Here, a field goal is a win, certainly, if you're the Wildcats.
Field goal or turnover. That's all Stoops is saying, but he also is telling his defensive linemen to be smart. You know, emotions are running high, and there was a lot of jawing and talking after that play, and you would hate to see such a positive play get wiped away by just extracurriculars that are unnecessary at this point. You know, do your job in between the whistle. That's what matters right now. You know, you got to get yourself back in this football game, and so this 3rd down is very critical. You have to be stingy. I don't expect the Louisville offense to run the football here. I expect them to put it in the hands of Miller Moss and try to create a man-to-man situation, pick route or something to free up a wide receiver.
They're 0 for 4 on 3rd downs thus far today, despite the 17-0 lead. They've amassed 128 total yards this quarter. Moss being chased, flushed out, smartly throws it away. Alex Afari Jr. with the pressure on Moss. Again, Moss hampered by a foot injury.
Run of the field is number 3, was in the area. Incomplete pass. 4th down.
And that was Dakari Collins, who was near the football. So 4th and goal. The kick unit is out. Cooper Ranvier attempting his 2nd field goal of the day.
Smart play by Afari. There just to mirror the hand. Don't do anything stupid or foolish to hurt your team.
A 24-yard attempt. Kick is up and good. The 21st field goal of the season for Ranvier. And that one in the record books for Louisville. 21 field goals. Ties him for the most in a season for the Cardinals. The 24-yard attempt is good. Let's take a look at Miller Moss thus far today. Rod coming into this one, as I mentioned, dealing with that foot injury, but looking pretty good today.
And it all started with the first play of the game. They ran a nice dig route to just get him involved in this game, putting their trust in him and allowing him to help this football team out. And he's done that in a number of ways, and it's all been predicated on his decision-making, his decisiveness, and his willingness to just come back out here, man, and be a fighter.
Yeah, when we spoke to Jeff Brom earlier this week, man, he was not necessarily expecting Miller to even be out there. He said it was going to be a true game time decision. When he took reps earlier this week, he said he looked slow. You know, they worked him as much as they could, but also had to try to be cautious in the ramp up because of that foot injury he suffered in the weight room. Patterson fields this one, and a good tackle there by the Cardinals. Excellent work on special teams there by Justin Agu.
Another good play on special teams. You know, there's a minute 40 left. You know, this matters. Again, you're making the Wildcats have to drive the length of the football field.
They'll start at the 16-yard line. Cutter Boley taking the field again. 9 of 14, 66 yards. Louisville showing blitz. Hester in motion. Boley in the gun, wants the snap, he gets it, pressure coming. They check it down to Patterson, and Louisville reads the whole thing. A loss on the play there. Jason Patterson nowhere to go. A 2-yard loss, 2nd and 12.
Man, the speed of this defensive line. Lubin just saw that and read it right away, and it got to the side. Made the tackle.
Boley and company on 2nd and 12. 3-man rush, Boley with time. Nobody open, though. He floats one incomplete to Patterson.
Really on the field, it's an incomplete forward pass. 3rd down.
TJ Quinn in the area for the hit. 3rd and 12.
right now this offensive line has to protect Cutter Boley. That's been the problem this entire first half. He hasn't had the time to find his wide receivers down the field to create those vertical opportunities.
Wildcats 2 for 8 on 3rd down. The Cardinals still have 3 timeouts. They bring 5. Boley in trouble again, and Boley taken down. They'll mark him down at the 1. Cleb Lubin, his 2nd sack of the game, the 5th sack today for the Cardinals.
Ruling on the field is that the runner's forward progress was stopped outside the end zone at the 1-yard line.
Lubin is making his presence felt on this drive, and there you see one of their best 2 pass rushers on the same side. You have Lubin and Wesley Bailey running a nice game and a stunt, and Lubin comes right in the inside, and they don't pass it off well and up in the offensive line positions.
Aiden Laros had one blocked earlier, and he is now at the edge of the end zone. The defense firing up the crowd in that end of the end zone.
It's a dangerous spot to be in. Maybe this Wildcats punt unit, you talk about it at this part of the field, literally, George, at the minute the punter grabs the football, he has to get rid of it. You can't take your normal approach. It's one stepping out.
Alex McLaughlin is the long snapper here, and he was already injured earlier in this game. He is back in there. Here comes Louisville, and Laros gets it off. Lacey fields it in his own territory around the 45 and tries to get back there. He'll get to about the 44, a 55-yard punt, no return. Laros did a good job there for the Wildcats, considering he was pinned in the back of his end zone.
A good punt by Laros, but what about Kendrick Law on the special teams unit, running down the field to be the first person that Colin Lacey sees?
Receiving team number 42. The 15-yard penalty is assessed from the end of the kick after enforcement. It's first down for Louisville.
That's Jaden Minkins with the infraction there. So they'll be backing up Louisville 15 more yards to the 29-yard line. And again, Louisville has all 3 timeouts. Kentucky still has 2.
If you're Kentucky, keep the ball in front of you right now. Nothing over the top.
Moss is in the gun. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. They hand it off to Jennings. Jennings with a hole and a burst here. Staying on his feet, breaking tackles, getting into Wildcat territory to the 49. A first down for the walk-on, Braxton Jennings.
Cardinals offense took advantage of the 3 down linemen that Kentucky was in.
Moss going quickly here. They bring the blitz over the middle. It's complete. Down to the 40 for another first down to Chris Hughes. Redshirt sophomore.
Louisville's called their second charge timeout of the half. It's 30 seconds in length. Please reset the game clock to 41 seconds. 4-1. Thank you.
So that's their second timeout. We had that wrong on our score bug show. They now have 1 timeout remaining, Louisville. They called one on the sack earlier by Cleb Lubin. So 1 timeout, Jeff Brom and company.
The ruling of a completed pass on the previous play is under video review.
They'll check to see if Hughes caught the ball, but Jeff Brom, to use an adage from the old Karate Kid movie, they're going to sweep the leg here, Rod. They're going after him.
It's a nice first play to start the drive. Had everything to do with what they saw up front from the defensive lineman.
Oh, that ball hit the ground.
Yeah. His arms died as he was going to the ground there. A lot had to do with the hit.
Yep.
By Scott.
Yep. Quaysheed Scott.
So coming in and violent tackle on the receiver Hughes. Cardinals today just taking what the defense gives them, and they've executed well. You know, like I said, the first play of this drive was a run play. Everybody's probably wondering why, but it had a lot to do with the Wildcats only having 3 down linemen. You like those odds. Picked up a nice game because of it.
Here's one more look. I mean, he's trapped the ball with his arm, but the ball is on the ground. And Jason Autry, our lead official, was getting off the headset, but now back on. Looks to be incomplete to me. We'll see what the officials determine here.
After video review, the ruling is an incomplete pass. The ball will be sent down to the 49-yard line. Louisville is not charged a timeout. Second down.
So there you have it. So back to the 49-yard line. Still within striking distance, 41 seconds to go.
Yeah, plenty of time to walk away here with some sort of points, whether a field goal or a touchdown.
So Louisville gets 1 timeout back. They have 2. They hand it off to Jennings. Not much there for Jennings, about a yard.
Louisville has called their second timeout of the half. It's 30 seconds in length. Please reset the game clock to 39 seconds, 039.
So 1 timeout left, 3rd down. Cooper Ranvier this year. His long is from 51. That was against Clemson, but that was also a night where they had some struggles kicking the ball. Ranvier doing a good job today, as he's got a pair. But Nick Keller is also their long field goal kicker, and his long this year was 57. So if they pick up the 1st down, they'll have a shot with Keller potentially on a long field goal attempt. We'll see what they can muster up here.
And if you're Kentucky, you have to play just a little tighter right now. Challenge these receivers.
You see out there, you have 3 receivers and a tight end for Louisville. Moss, good protection, throws it complete to Trayshawn Hurry. He's got the 1st down as he's inside the 35, down to the 31-yard line. They're going to try to spike this thing to stop the clock, and they do. 31 seconds left. They have 1 timeout. It'll be 2nd down and 10 upcoming for Louisville. They're already in field goal range for either kicker.
And Hardaway, they were playing 2-man, which means he had safety help over the top. And as a cornerback, you're supposed to deny all inside breaking and low routes, and he allowed Hurry to get inside of.
Trayshawn Hurry, the transfer from San Jose State. And Louisville converted its first third down of the day. Moss avoiding tacklers. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Moss dives forward. Enough for the 1st down. Will they give it to him? He's close. They're still trying to determine it. He did stop the
Ruling
clock.
on the field is a forward fumble out of bounds. By rule, the clock will start on the ready for play.
I did
Please
not see
reset
that
the
initially. Ball
game
was
clock to 20 seconds.
swiped out from
Louisville has
behind.
called their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
So
Dangerous play by Moss.
Mike's Humphrey Grace chased him down. Moss again, as we've documented here, dealing with a foot injury and was chased down. I mean, listen, I give him credit for just trying to pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, gutsy play, but don't put the ball in harm's way because of it. He's very fortunate that ball ended up out of bounds.
You got to have 2 hands on it right there as you're getting closer, right?
Correct, absolutely. And at that point, you know, you gotta tuck it, get 2 arms around the football.
So they did give him the first down. The ball fumbled out of bounds.
I expect them to try to go to the end zone again here, George. They still have 20 seconds, and they drew up a double move on that last play because they're in that high red area. That go zone is what a few coaches like to call it. And so I expect them to try and do the same again. And if you're Kentucky, you have to realize, look, don't bite on the first move. Keep things in front of you right now. The worst thing you could do at this point is give up a touchdown. They already have 3 points.
Moss 9 of 15 for 161 yards and a touchdown. We've got movement up front. That's an easy full start call.
Ball start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Trevante Sylvester, the left tackle, the 5th-year senior transfer from Houston. But to your point earlier, Rod, as they break the huddle, Moss averaging nearly 18 yards per completion today. They are at the 26 now. They hand it off. Jennings. And a flag trailing the play as Jennings gets inside the 20.
Holding. Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, first down. Please reset the game clock to 15 seconds. 0-1-5.
Spot
start on the ready for play.
Spot foul there on Trevante Sylvester. We appreciate the explanation by Jason Autry and the thoroughness of it. So back-to-back penalties on Sylvester.
Too many penalties for Sylvester today in this first half.
And they're going to try the field goal here with Ranvier. A 54-yard attempt. This would be a career long for Ranvier.
It's an opportunity for the Wildcats to block this field goal.
Time is ticking. 5 seconds. And they're going to let the time expire here. A strange tactic.
That's the end of the first half.
Why not?
They didn't draw it up that way. They didn't draw it up that way, George. They were supposed to absolutely hike the football. I think it was all about managing the clock. So they're supposed to let that clock bleed and then hike it so that there's 0 time on the clock.
Victoria, let's check in with her. She may have something down there about this.
Yeah, guys, the wind increased very quickly just as he was lining up to kick, and it was a significant gust that actually blew over the kicking 10.
So maybe that had them decide why they didn't want to kick it. All right, well, our score at halftime, Louisville 20, Kentucky nothing. Let's send it to Taylor Tannenbaum and the ACC Huddle crew for your halftime report. The 20-0 lead thanks to Miller Moss and company. As we get ready to start the third quarter here momentarily, welcome inside L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium alongside Super Bowl champion Virginia Cavalier Rodney McLeod. I'm George Sedano. Victoria Arlen will join us in just a moment. It's been a chilly day here in Louisville, as you can see on my face, particularly, Rod. But it's time to get into how Louisville has been able to dominate. Is It In You? Brought to you by Gatorade. How has Louisville been so dominant?
They've been playing complementary football, and it started off with this punt block at the start of the game. Each phase has shown up and made their impact felt and presence felt on this football game. And then offensively, the presence of Miller Moss has really changed the outlook of this unit, and he's hit receivers in stride. He's found his rhythm. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, everything has been defensive line production, not allowing Cutter Boley to get started today, and it's a huge reason why they're leading this football game.
And you see the numbers tilted very much in Louisville's favor there. In that second quarter alone, Louisville amassed 191 total yards. Kentucky, -7 in the second quarter. And the Kentucky offensive line has not held up for Cutter Boley today. Aiden Laros, the punter, will kick it off to start the second half. Colin Lacey, the deep man for Louisville. He lets this one go in the end zone. Let's check in with Victoria.
George, you talk about it being cold up in the booth. Down here at the field, it is very cold. It has also gotten windier, but weather aside, I was speaking to Coach Brom at the half, and he told me, look, we played a decent 30 minutes, but we need to come back out, execute better, and play better.
All right, Victoria. I mean, listen, the coach is always going to tell you can do something different for sure, even though they got the 20-0 lead.
I think they play better than decent.
Yeah, I would agree.
In my opinion.
Louisville has 6 straight wins when leading at half this season. We'll see if they can make that 7. An excellent run there for a first down by Sean Boykins. Again, the converted running back from wide receiver picks up 12 on that play.
The defensive line of Kentucky, the edge defender decides to go inside there and to left the edge free, and Boykins found it on the outside part of the field. And just a great way to start this second half through the run game, which I didn't think they would have much of an impact today because of the loss of so many dynamic players. But Boykins and Jennings have showed up very well.
And another run here up the middle. Decent chunk of change there. Good block there by Mohamed Musa. 6-yard gain for Boykins.
Not a sight you want to see as a Wildcat defender. Running backs running free in the first time their touch is on the second level. Need more penetration and push from the defensive line.
2nd and 4. Again to Boykins. Test the right side. It'll be about a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short upcoming. But to your point, Rod, Louisville missing their top 3 running backs, Isaac Brown, Kejuan Brown, and Duke Watson. So Sean Boykins, the converted wide receiver to running back, and Braxton Jennings, the walk-on, are getting the bulk of the carries today.
Yeah, they're making the most of their opportunity. You never know when your number's going to get called, and today they're tasked to fill the shoes of some dynamic running backs. And they're doing that thus far.
3rd and 1, Moss under center. 3 tight ends out there. They give it to Boykins, but this time the Wildcats stuff it out for a loss on the play. A 3-yard loss. Steven Souls Jr. first there to meet Boykins.
And you see just good penetration to start that play. That's what created the tackle for loss and forcing now the Cardinals to punt. They need more of those plays to crawl back and have a chance at winning this football game.
David Chapeau to punt. He awaits the snap inside the 30. Kendrick Law awaiting at his own 15. End over end punt. Law will field it and run out of bounds at the 15-yard line. A 44-yard punt. No return. Or no yardage on the return, rather. And we'll stay here, and let's see what Mark Stoops and Bush Hamden, the offensive coordinator for Kentucky, have in store for this particular offense, who struggled in the first half, as we mentioned, and in the second quarter particularly, -7 yards in that second quarter.
The biggest thing, George, is containing this defensive line. That's where it all starts, and then you have to get the ball out to the perimeter and find a way to get quicker throws, because the vertical game isn't present right now.
They're moving Boley here. Gets it to Law, incomplete. And Boley off target there.
Good play call, getting Boley on the move. Just an inaccurate throw, but that is the right mindset. You have to escape this defensive line, and the way to do that is to create some opportunities for quarterback outside the pocket.
That was the first time we've seen Law in the backfield today. They're going to have to get creative, but to your point, protection is paramount. Dowdell in the backfield. Boley with some time tries to throw it down the sideline, but wisely out of bounds, intended for DJ Miller. Everybody was covered up there, and Clev Lubin was coming, breathing down his neck at the end.
And Lubin has been in the face of Boley all day, and a lot has to do with who's he going up against. Wolfschlager there. You know, majority of this football game, he's been the victim that they've been attacking up front.
3rd and 10 now for the Wildcats. Boley 2 for his last 7.
Here they are showing the pressure look. It's all about the final picture. You have to decipher it quick, though.
4 wide receivers for the Wildcats. They pick up the blitz. They throw it. It's complete to the true freshman Cameron Miller, but it's going to be short of the marker by a couple of yards. And it looks like the punt unit is coming back out. So Boley and company, after an 8-yard gain, their third 3 and out of this contest. And really, since that first drive where they picked up a couple of third downs, they have not amassed very much offensively.
No, and the theme for that drive was 3rd and 5s or less. Since then, they've been in position of 3rd and long, allowing the Cardinals defense to pin their ears back and get after Boley.
Laros to punt it, awaiting inside his 10, low snap. They got to one earlier. They almost got to that one, as this one's a poor punt. And it's bouncing around in Kentucky territory. So Louisville will have excellent field position near the 40-yard line. Blake Ruffin was able to deter Laros into that bad punt. Only a 16-yard punt. Louisville up 20 and in good position to start the next drive. Both games will have implications on who ends up in Charlotte for the ACC title game. That Duke-Wake Forest game for sure will have implications, but even NC State could cause problems, and the ball is on the ground. NC State covers it back up. Miller Moss and Braxton Jennings struggling with the exchange there. A 1-yard loss on the play. 2nd and 11. Yeah, Jennings couldn't handle it.
Yeah, Jennings just looking at the defensive line before he's secured. I think that played a role there.
You saw Mark Stoops wanted that one to try to turn around the momentum. Moss on 2nd and 11. Lets it rip over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Trayshawn Hurry. Jonquise Hardaway in coverage. It's 3rd and 11 now for Louisville.
Good coverage by Hardaway. And this is one of the few times I've seen them challenge these Cardinal receivers. Get up, get in their face, and play stickier coverage on these earlier downs to make it difficult on Moss to find his receivers. Now you put yourself in a good position in 3rd and long. That's a winnable down for you.
Moss in the gun here on 3rd and 11. They're 1 of 7 on 3rd down. They're chasing Moss, and Moss throws one up for grabs. No receiver really in the area. Alex Afari Jr. with the quarterback pressure.
They set up that running back screen there, George. So that's who he was trying to hit on that one. And it was a good play call, knowing that Kentucky was going to come with pressure. They checked to a screen, but the pressure and the ability to get their hands up affected that throw.
Yeah, there it was over the head of Jennings. And you see there Jeff Brom having a conversation with his quarterback about throwing that one up for grabs. Kendrick Law back to receive inside his 10. Chapeau with the punt. Fair catch by Law. 32-yard punt. No return. And Cutter Boley, again, the offense struggling for the Wildcats. Boley only 11 of 19 for 72 yards at the moment.
And Jordan, a lot of this game has been dictated by field position. You know, you see the Wildcats often pinned into their own territory to have to drive the distance of the field against a Cardinals defense that doesn't give up a ton of explosives themselves. And so you got to credit this Cardinals team for just, you know, winning the field position battle today.
Again, Cutter Boley in the shadows of his end zone. They hand it off. Straight ahead is Jason Patterson, giving them a little breathing room to the 11-yard line. 5-yard gain.
And the absence of Seth McGowan has really hurt the Wildcats today, especially from a running standpoint. Keeping them on track and ahead of the chains. You know, he's a powerful back. You know, he's 720 yards on the ground, and missing him is hurting them dramatically today.
And Bush Hamden, their offensive coordinator, told us he's the alpha of the offense, and you're seeing them struggle without him out there, to your point, Rod. Kendrick Law in motion on 2nd and 5. Boley to the sideline. Too far for his intended target, Cameron Miller. Jabari Mack in coverage. 3rd and 5 upcoming.
And good coverage by Jabari Mack. Just knowing the situation. Where are you at on the field? They're backed up. I'm expecting quick game. They run it out. I stay in my back pedal square and I break and make a play. Here you are, 3rd and 5. This is where Kentucky found success early in this ball game. Cardinals played zone, and Boley was able to find a few guys. Now it looks like they're opting to play man-to-man.
Kentucky 2 of 10 on 3rd downs in this one. Law in motion. Boley takes the snap. Pressure coming in his face. Throws it up. Law able to catch it, but looks to be behind the sticks. Doesn't have enough for the 1st down as it's only to the 15-yard line. It's 4th down upcoming.
And there it is, just getting Law in motion to create some leverage up against the defender. Just a tad bit short.
And Kentucky going for it here on 4th down. Deep in their own territory.
And this in 4th and 1. This is typically where they like to go wildcat with McGowan. He's not in the game, so what's going to be your answer now?
And confusion, it seems like, on how they want to line up. Boley takes the snap. He throws it over the middle. Incomplete, intended for Kendrick Law. A sidearm sling, but a flag on the field at the 16-yard line.
Illegal shift, offense. Players went in motion and never reset prior to the snap. That penalty is declined. Result of play is a 1st down for Louisville.
So Louisville taking over at the 15-yard line. Kentucky has not had a 1st down since 2:56 to go in the 1st quarter.
Just put too much on it, George. And Law is a for sure handed receiver, and instead Boley throws it too far out in front, which resulted in the incomplete. But that started with the beginning of that play. Guys look unsettled and confused.
Boley had the running back in the flat, but hesitated to throw it there and then went to Law as his 2nd read. Louisville gives it to Boykins with a seam, and Boykins taken down near the 5-yard line. Ty Bryant saves a touchdown. It'll be a 1st down for Louisville, 1st and goal from the 5.
Again, just no edge to the defense. All the defensive linemen are going inside, but nobody's scraping over the top to set a firm edge. And they're exposing it right now, this Cardinals offense.
Loss in the gun. Kentucky showing blitz. Boykins bounces it outside, and Boykins gets it to the end zone. A 5-yard scamper for another Louisville touchdown.
Another soft edge by this Wildcats defense. It hurt them to play before, and there again, nobody holds contained. And then Dooley doesn't get up the field in time as Boykins comes around, and he's too late. And Boykins walks in and finishes with it looked to me like a little Kappa shimmy there to cap things off.
Sounds like you're familiar with the shimmy. Ranvier splits the uprights. 27-0, total domination by Louisville. Missing their top 3 running backs, a converted wide receiver, and a walk-on, making things happen on the ground.
There is no foul for unnecessary roughness.
And 2, Virginia Tech, though, has won 23 of the last 25 against your Cavaliers.
A pair of big games later, and you just hit it, George. The Commonwealth is up for grabs, and again, like I said earlier, records don't matter in games like those.
Yep. So Kentucky to fair catch that one with Patterson. Louisville's defense, though, we've talked a lot about the scoring, but their defense has lived up to the billing.
Give this defensive line some love and some credit today. I mean, they just put on a massive powerful performance, countless times getting after Boley, and it's making the secondary job that much easier. When you know guys don't have but a couple seconds before they have to get rid of the ball, I mean, you have to love that as a cornerback or secondary in this type of defense.
We spoke to Ron English, the defensive coordinator for Louisville this week. He said, hey, we had a rough one last week against SMU. Reputation, it could take years to build, but only seconds to lose. So we got to finish the season strong. They've been a very good defense all year. Boley over the middle. It's complete at midfield to Hardley Gilmore. And Gilmore fighting for yardage will have the first down as he gets into Louisville territory, a 26-yard gain.
Finally, some protection, and this is because they brought in 2 tight ends to help secure the edges and allow the window on that second level.
2 tight ends out there, as you mentioned, Rod, and breaking tackles there is Dante Dowdell. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down to the 40. Kentucky showing life here, but time is not on their side.
It just took them too long to get to these sets.
Boley keeps. Boley bouncing off defenders and dragging defenders down inside the 30. D'Angelo Hutchinson went for a ride there, a first down and a 10-yard gain for the Wildcats.
Boley lowers the shoulder at the end of this. You know, normally you tell your quarterback to avoid the contact, but there he is, just putting that right shoulder down to try to pick up yardage.
Boley again, local kid, chose the local school, played high school ball 15 minutes away from the Lexington campus of the University of Kentucky. Dowdell tries to hurdle a defender and gets hit in the leg by TJ Quinn. Short gain.
The athleticism by Dowdell. He's 6'2", 227 to even try to hurdle TJ Quinn in the middle of the defense right there was impressive.
2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. Boley, here comes the blitz. Boley in trouble, and Boley taken down again. TJ Quinn is all over the field. A loss of 9 on the play.
TJ Quinn, just a good job at scraping tight as he came through that line of scrimmage. Both him and Capers running a nice 2-man game on the center there.
Boley drops back, flags fly. Boley hit from behind. He goes to the sideline. Incomplete. A.J. Green with the hit on Boley. The pass intended for Gilmore.
He also came across early too, George.
Offside, defense number 17 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
They're trying to change up the snap count on these rushers to slow them down just a little bit to have some room to operate.
3rd and 12 now for Boley after the A.J. Green infraction. Patterson in the backfield with him, the redshirt freshman. 4 receivers. Boley lofts one towards the sideline. It's intercepted, but out of bounds. Tayon Holloway over the shoulder, but catches it out of bounds.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. 4th down.
Jamori Macklin, the intended target. Oh, I don't know about that.
He might have one foot
down.
The ruling of an incomplete forward pass is under video review. Timeout.
That's going to stand, George. They're going to overturn that one. I mean, he turned himself into the wide receiver there. Once he secures it, that foot is down, and he keeps the ball still as he goes through out of bounds. But what I liked about that was the coverage. I mean, you talk about as a cornerback versus the fade route on the outside, squeeze the receiver to the sidelines, stay on top, squeeze the receiver, and then when the ball is in the air, you turn into the wide receiver, and Holloway did that to perfection.
If they do overturn it, Again, they need conclusive evidence to say that he got it. It looked good to us. We'll take another look from here. Now, we don't see where the ball is there, though, but the foot is clearly down. But now let's see where the ball is. You see the official wave it off as an incompletion.
The minute right here, freeze. Toe tap.
Yeah, that's
that 1 foot's in.
That's an interception. But it's not what we think, Rod.
No.
It's what the
After
crew down
video
there
review,
thinks.
the ruling is an interception. The defender had a foot down inbounds, returned control of the ball. First
There you
down
go.
Louisville at the 1 yard line.
Tayon Holloway gets his first interception of the season. And the domination continues. A little zombie celly in the end zone.
Yeah, and I remember we came here earlier in the season, George, and one thing they talked about Holloway, they say he's a gifted athlete, and he's earned these reps as of late.
22nd turnover of the year for Kentucky, the most in the SEC. Louisville
Immediate
dominating.
timeout.
Let's take a look at today's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate. Tayon Holloway, a DB right after your own heart, Rod.
Yeah, DB, but he looks like a receiver on this play. Just does a good job at boxing out Macklin. And on the receiver room, they talk about stacking the DB. There, Holloway stacked Macklin, and he made a remarkable grab.
So Holloway stepped out of bounds at the 1, though. So Louisville starting there. I formation, Moss under center.
And they went with a little double cadence there to try to get them drop off sides.
He hands it off. Jennings gets to about the 10-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 9. So a nice start to the drive there, an 8-yard gain. 2nd and 2 upcoming.
You can't say enough about this offensive line today. They've been able to move the defensive front of the Wildcats for a majority of this game.
And they've done a good job all season, really,
yeah.
The Louisville offensive line. Maybe some penalties here or there, but like today they've had a few. But generally speaking, they've been able to mow the defense down in front of them. Jennings pushing the pile, gets past the 15 for a first down.
And one of the healthier groups on this offensive side of the ball is this offensive line, and they're putting it on the shoulders of them at this moment, especially these cold weather games like we're facing today. You need a ground game, and they're coming alive.
And they've been able to do it due to some injuries for Kentucky. Let's check in quickly with Victoria.
Quick injury update for you guys. Kentucky number 5 DJ Waller is out with a hamstring, and number 60 David Gusta is out with a calf injury.
Yeah, David Gusta there, nose tackle. And Louisville taking advantage of that, running the ball. Not that time, though. Alex Afari Jr. plugged up the hole from the linebacker position. A 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 upcoming. And Coach Stoops running out of time and potentially answers here.
The answer is they need this defense to step up and make a game-changing play. Interception, forced fumble, something to generate some momentum for this team.
At this point, you almost just take a stop, honestly.
Yeah, and they've had a number of stops, but they do need to stop right now, because guess what it'll do? It'll give them an advantage in the field position game, which they haven't had today.
That's correct. Moss in the gun, hands it off again to Jennings, and Jennings breaks free. Jennings picks up the first down, and then down at the 34-yard line. Jennings, a 15-yard gain for the first down.
And just a couple pillars coming around, and then Kuriski clearing the way for him. He acts as a fullback a lot of times, doing a lot of that dirty work.
Jennings, the walk-on, 13 carries, 70 yards. I mean, he's a true freshman walk-on. To be able to toe the rock this many times and be this successful, I mean, this is like a movie happening right now. I formation. Jennings again. Jennings on the right side picks up a couple. Let's go downstairs to Victoria.
Guys, Braxton Jennings' family was down right near where I was during warm-ups, and both of his parents were like, hey, keep an eye on Jennings. He's going to have a good game today. And then his mom followed up with, but he's only 18, so don't be too, judgmental of him. But basically, they were warning us in good company that he was going to have a game today.
Yeah, well, he was going to need to if they were going to have success today. But, Mom's always making sure to cover all the bases.
Moms, you're good with me. Your son Braxton Jennings is putting on a show today.
2nd and 6. Here's Jennings again, lowering the shoulder. About a yard and a half shy of the first down. 3rd down and short upcoming. 3rd down and a long one.
And they're bringing in big personnel on this play. So expect them to hand the football off. 7 offensive linemen are in right now.
Yeah, Jeff Brom not messing around. Look at all those big bodies in the backfield in front of Jennings. And a direct snap to Jennings. Jennings burrows forward, has enough for the first down. He gets to the 46-yard line. And Jennings checking out for a breather. All rushes by Jennings on this drive thus far. He's accumulated 42 yards.
And Louisville has been on the other side of the 50 a lot of times today. And here they are nearing that 50-yard mark right now, 50-yard line mark. You're the Wildcats. You got to do something to stop it.
High formation. Boykins now checking in. He's going to test the edge. And Boykins not able to turn the corner completely, but does pick up positive yardage. 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4. And it's interesting because when we spoke to Jeff Brom and company, they talked to us about they were going to throw the ball to test the injured secondary of Kentucky. And they did that early on, but the run game has really stepped up as the game has progressed.
It's been a weapon for them today. And again, it has a lot to do to the offensive line. It has to do with the way the Kentucky defense was structured early in this football game, playing 3 down linemen, and you're creating lanes. And then they've now found something on the edge of that defense.
Miller Moss takes a timeout.
Louisville's called their first charge timeout of the half. It's 30 seconds in length.
Miller Moss, we touched on this multiple times throughout the broadcast. A foot injury, a weightlifting accident, did not play last week against SMU. Young Deuce Adams, the redshirt freshman, played, and they struggled mightily offensively last week against SMU, and they lost 38-6 on the road in Dallas. And Miller Moss, we didn't know if he was going to play this game. It was going to be a true game time decision. He has toughed this thing out. We've seen him rush the ball for a touchdown, have a big run on the ground for a first down, and certainly slinging it around as well. He has stepped up in a big way today.
He's a competitor, and his experience, allowed him to play in this football game. He didn't need many reps throughout the week. He's seen a lot of football, and they trusted in him to come out here and perform well, and he's done that.
He hands it off again to Boykins, and Boykins, a short gain of a yard there.
He's just brought a level of calmness and allowed this offense to settle in, and not only his teammates, but the coaching staff.
36 rushing plays for Louisville, 19 passing plays. It has been domination.
Welcome back to Louisville. The Cards have a 27-0 lead over Kentucky, and I'm here with Coach Brom. Coach, you talked about in the half that you needed to come back and play better. How do you feel like your guys are doing that after the third?
Well, I think we're still playing hard, and that's good. I think we just got to execute. Right now we got to control the ball, can't turn it over. We still got to play good defense, not give up a big play, but so far through 3 quarters.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Victoria. Moss finds his tight end, Kariski. Enough for the first down. He gets to the 42-yard line, a 6-yard gain, but Moss is down, and they're trying to help him up. And he goes down again. grabbing his left leg. You hate to see this. Moss trying to tough it out. And it's friendly fire as he gets mixed up there with Lance Robinson, his left guard.
He got just pushed right back into Moss on that play. Walk back by Cowan.
You see Moss grabbing at his knee multiple times. We will step aside as the trainers tend to Miller Moss. Good news is Miller Moss walking off on his own power. Deuce Adams is in at quarterback for the moment. Here early in the fourth quarter, the Cardinals leading 27-0. A one-sided Governor's Cup on a chilly day in Louisville. Adams gives it to Jennings. Jennings straight ahead inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And Moss set to check back in, waves the redshirt freshman Deuce Adams off. It's like, hey, bud, you're coming back to the sideline. I'm going back in.
He's a heck of a competitor. When we had him earlier in the year, quoting Kobe and guys like Mike.
Yeah.
People he looked up to and idolized growing up as a kid.
4-yard gain for Jennings earlier. They give it back to Jennings, straight ahead again, and Jennings dragging defenders. Has enough for the first down. Down to the 31-yard line, a 7-yard gain. You mentioned Kobe, Miller Moss, an LA kid. Grew up watching Kobe Bryant. To your point, idolizing him. And embodies the Mamba mentality. And I'll tell you this, gutting it through in this game, that's Mamba-like for sure. We all know Kobe Bryant famously tore his Achilles, shot the free throws, and walked off the floor. Not comparing Moss to that right now, but Moss is dealing with a foot injury. It can't be easy out there. It's all perspective. Jennings on the right side, picks up a couple. Let's go downstairs to Victoria on Moss.
That foot injury that Moss has been dealing with, so on the sidelines before he went back in, he kept walking, lifting that left foot up, trying to adjust his ankle, and then went through a couple sprint drills with his coaches and gave the thumbs up. But you could definitely tell there's a slight limp, and he keeps lifting his left foot on the sidelines, George.
Thanks, Victoria. I mean, this is his last game, Rod, so he wants to finish it, or at least as much as he possibly can. 2nd and 6 for the Cardinals. Jennings again bounces off a defender, heads to the outside, has the first down and then some as he goes out of bounds near the 10-yard line, chased out by Cam Dooley, a 20-yard gain, and the Cardinals looking to put the nail in the coffin.
This again, this finding room on the outside part of the field. Kentucky's not having them play in a phone booth. You talk about it as a defensive coach, you want the game to be played in a phone booth. And right now, they're getting to the perimeter at will. And right now, for this defense, it's about pride right now. Like, your resume, your identity is on this tape.
Boykins now at tailback, and they wrap him up in the backfield. Back to Jennings, though. You might have just seen that graphic. He has 117 yards today. Braxton Jennings, who's checking back in the game. The freshman, true freshman, walk-on tailback. He had 87 all season. That's all you need to know coming into today. And by the way, 17 of those were last week. So he had, 70 coming into the last 2 games. But 17 carries, 87 yards, has the touchdown. His 4th game this season. Timeout.
Louisville's called their 2nd timeout of the half. It's 30 seconds in length.
But Jennings, this is the stuff that, again, college football is made for. You have all these injuries to all these guys. By the way, Isaac Brown, Keywan Brown, Duke Watson. You played 13 years in the NFL. Those three guys I mentioned are probably NFL running backs, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And Braxton Jennings, a true freshman, 5'11", 195-pound player, a walk-on, checking in, and really doing as good a job as anyone could do out there, keeping those chains moving on the ground.
Yeah, he's running to earn himself a scholarship. That's what he's running like today.
Get him that scholarship.
You feel me? And honestly, you know, he's just trusted the offensive line. He trusted the blocking. He's been patient behind the line of scrimmage. And when it's been time for him to hit the hole with burst, with power, he's done it. Just an excellent game by Jennings at getting the run game established, you know, between him and Boykins. They've played their role well today.
And Boykins, as we mentioned earlier, is a converted tailback from wide receiver. A flag on the play. False start on Louisville.
False start. Offense number 88 was down in a three-point stance as a covered lineman. It stood up. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat second, remains second down.
Jaleel Skinner, redshirt junior, tight end, had a big catch early in the game. If you look at this game, Rod, to me, the three things that stick out the most as Deuce Adams is checking back in here on 2nd and 16. The defense for Louisville and the pressure they put on Boley and company, and the offensive line for Louisville today.
The trenches today have shown up. This is why you construct your team in the interior parts of the offense and defense, because of games like this.
Adams stood up, but still pushing the pile. Austin Ramsey with the tackle. Gets down to the 10. It'll be 3rd and 9. They can still get a first down at the 1. The ball looked to have come out there as Adams was trying to push forward for more yardage. Oh, it did. Yeah. And luckily able to pounce on it. Gerard Smith ripped it out.
Really good job by Smith there. He's a guy that looks like he has some pride to him.
And Miller Moss checks back in. 17th play of the drive upcoming. Moss with plenty of time. Checks it down. Finds his man. Dakari Collins for a touchdown. Collins' first touchdown of the season for Louisville.
We talked about the trenches, George, and here it is on display, just giving Miller Moss time to operate, to go through his reads. He went first, second, third, fourth read. He found Collins wide open in that zone. You can't say enough about this offensive line unit today.
Cooper Ranvier, extra point, is up and good. Here's that last touchdown to Collins. The shutout is intact for Louisville. Kentucky hasn't been shut out in this series since 2004. He was out there cheering his team on the whole game. And again, a huge part of what they've done here the last couple of years at Louisville. And he'll be headed to the NFL for sure. This one into the end zone.
Just a great sight to see, you know, when you have your family and that village behind you, and to walk off this field today, you know, as a senior, as a winner, man, is everything. Incredible feeling, incredible moment for a lot of these seniors on this team.
Yeah, no doubt about it, for sure. It's your last moment. And in the Governor's Cup, I mentioned before going to break, Kentucky has not been shut out in this game since 2004. And currently, Kentucky trying to get on the board still to snap or keep that streak intact where they don't get shut out. Jason Patterson straight ahead. But at the moment, It is 75-17 in the last 7+ quarters in this series in favor of Louisville.
Yeah, they're gonna have to earn it if they want to get some points on the board today.
Yeah.
This is Cardinals defense. They're not giving up anything for free.
First down there for the Wildcats. And flags flying. Jeff Brom's team won in blowout fashion last year, and will do so, it looks like, this year again.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 27 for contact to an opponent's head. That 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the play and includes an automatic first down.
That's on JoJo Evans, the 5th-year senior from Riviera Beach, Florida. He was on Hardley Gilmore, right there, yep, towards the right side of your screen. So that puts the Wildcats in Louisville territory. Again, Louisville, by the way, has a chance to have their largest shutout against an FBS opponent since 2013. They won 7-2 against FIU, and it's intercepted. So the shutout may still be intact as Tayon Holloway comes up with his 2nd pick of the day. Flags flying as tempers are flaring down on the near sideline.
And Boley is right in the middle of that scuffle there. See, his helmet's off right now.
And we saw them in the pregame go at it a few times. There's Boley there without his helmet.
Pure chaos right now on that sideline. You don't want your quarterback in the middle of that.
The officials were out of flags. They started throwing their hats. Boley picked off on consecutive passes. The officials still trying to sort this thing out. He sailed that one. Holloway was 2nd interception of the day, his 2nd career interception. And there's Boley in there. And his teammates trying to drag him out of there.
Trying to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Cardinals are trying to pull him back in.
Yeah. Jason Autry and company. They'll have a lot to figure out. You see the 2 officials there, no hats, as they ran out of flags. Boley being restrained on the other end a little bit. It looks upset. Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah. Boley, he's a fighter now.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell.
No doubt. Yeah, I want him on my team.
After the play, there are multiple unsportsmanlike fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct. Kentucky, number 17 and number 8. The 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the play. It'll be first down for Louisville. That is the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for those 2 players for the contest. Timeout.
So Boley is upset that he was hit with an unsportsmanlike. He was just out there trying to make a play after the interception. Mark Stoops is fired up as well. You see him using not safe for work language. And then Hardley Gilmore, the 4th, was given the other unsportsmanlike. And Mark Stoops wants an explanation here.
Yeah.
Boley trying to make a tackle.
Trying to make a tackle.
And then he's getting up, and a player falls on him. Louisville coach is trying to help him up. He's pushing his way out as players are trying to crowd over there. And his teammates taking him out. And then the Louisville players start mixing it up with the offensive lineman for Kentucky. Boley trapped in the middle of all that. Tempers clearly flaring. And they eventually get Boley out of there. But I don't understand it on Boley personally at all. I mean, based off what we just saw.
No, not at all. I mean, this is a guy who's, again, just trying to prevent a touchdown and putting his body on the line for his team. and he's trying to make an exit, and they won't allow him to get out.
Were you surprised there were no flags on Louisville?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, wait, what? 17 and 17.
No, it was both on Kentucky. It was Gilmore.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous in my opinion.
Yeah, that's
They
very
instigated the entire situation over there. I mean, you got to push your way out if you're Boley at that point when they're not allowing you to get up.
So 30 yards in penalties after the two unsportsmanlikes on Kentucky. So Moss is back out there. Pistol formation. Boykins behind him. Boykins up the hash marks. Picks up about 7. And we got more extracurricular activity out there.
And leaders on this football team, you know, they got to calm their guys down. Now, that was a huge emotional moment. And again, you don't want to do anything to jeopardize, you know, yourself in this football game or any games, you know, outside of this, especially for, you know, for the Cardinals. Let's keep things fair in between the whistles.
2nd and 4 here now. To your point, we'll see if tempers continue to flare or if everyone calms down a little bit. Moss draining the clock. Boykins, a huge hole on the right side, picks up the first down to the 15-yard line. Cam Dooley might have saved the touchdown, a 9-yard gain. Now, this is pregame where some of the chippiness started. This was a couple of hours before kickoff. They had 2 different issues in the warm-ups.
And I was actually down there for this one. And again, it was intense. There was a lot of chatter going on, but it's all about, you know, who shows up when it's game time, when that whistle blows. And right now, the Cardinals have shown up.
And it set the tone for what we were going to see here today. Boykins dragging defenders still on the rugby scrum and gets down inside the 10. They'll mark his forward progress down to about the 7. Let's go downstairs to Victoria. 1st and goal coming up.
Guys, with that scuffle that was going on, there was a bunch of Louisville players standing on chairs, getting the crowd to get loud and hyped up during all of it. It only just amplified the emotions down here.
All right, Victoria, thank you. Check that 2nd and 3 upcoming. Down at the 8-yard line. Boykins again. And Boykins wrapped up at the 4-yard line. And now he should have enough for the first down. 1st and goal.
And I understand the frustration of this Kentucky defense. You know, you just saw your quarterback, you know, get pummeled over there in the crowd, and now this is your first op at it to be able to, you know, pay him back. But you got to do it. You got to do it when it matters the most.
Moss under center, I formation. Boykins taken down. Tavion Gadsden with the tackle down at the 4, no gain. Seven offensive linemen now out there for Louisville as they try to punch it in one more time.
A lot of exchanging going on. They bring in 7-0 line. That means you got to bring in some additional defensive linemen yourself to be able to match personnel. Whole line shift going on.
You see 2 offensive linemen back in the backfield as well. Moss pulls, end zone, touchdown. Jaleel Skinner.
broke their tendency. Every time they have come in with 7 offensive linemen today, they ran the football, and there instead they find Skinner from out the line, found him in the back of the end zone for a touchdown.
Moss 4 total touchdowns today, 3 in the air, 1 on the ground. 3 different receivers. Extra point is up and good for Ranvier. 41-0. Miller Moss sending off Louisville on senior day. We'll keep that cup for the 2nd year in a row. They won in blowout fashion last year in Lexington and blanking the Wildcats this year. The Wildcats were playing for bowl eligibility. That will not be the case this year. The 3rd annual ACC-SEC Women's Basketball Challenge, though, begins on Wednesday. Auburn squaring off against Syracuse at 5 Eastern. Then Thursday night, SMU hosts Arkansas at 7 Eastern, right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Santa's come to town early, although I've never seen Santa with a green beard. Cutter Boley back out there. He's going to try to fight to the end. I'll give him credit for that. By the way, speaking of women's basketball a moment ago, his sister Erin played in the ACC. She started off at Notre Dame, finished her career several years at Oregon, playing with Sabrina Ionescu. But Boley out there to the end. Admirable for sure. And a run there by Patterson straight ahead. Not much, maybe about a yard on that one. Kentucky could be headed for their worst shutout loss since 2006 against LSU. They lost that one 49-0. And again, have not been shut out in the Governor's Cup since 2004. Louisville 143-4 when scoring 40 or more in their last 147 games. Jason Patterson runs out of bounds, shy of the marker. Rodney Johnson chases him out of bounds. 3rd down upcoming.
And credit to this Cardinals defense. Just an excellent performance from start to finish today, and doing what they do best, which is attack the quarterback to make him feel pressure, and it's affected Boley a lot.
Boley, pressure surrounding him. He throws it, almost intercepted again. His intended target looked to be Rodriguez, the tight end. And a lot of red jerseys out there.
The level of difficulty to pitch a shutout, to hold an offense to 0 points is not easy to do, ladies and gentlemen. And again, you got to give defensive coordinator Ron English a lot of love and praise, but his players have responded today, and they played up to that standard that he's talked about all year.
Brock Kaufman back to receive for Louisville inside his 30. Laros with the punt, had one blocked earlier. And Hoffman will get it at his own 25. 4th 3 and out for Kentucky. Let's take a look at Miller Moss's day, Rod.
It's a great way for Miller Moss to go out as a senior on this football team. He was injured before today, but he battled back, and he's been fighting all day. He's brought just a level of calmness and confidence to this offensive unit, and it started from play 1, and it's only gotten better as the game's unfolded. And he's just capped off an amazing performance here this last time in his home stadium.
And that'll be it for him today. Getting some love on the sideline. Deuce Adams is in at QB. Hands it off to Boykins. Not much there, as it's just a matter of time as the clock is ticking down. There's Moss's numbers today. 12 of 20, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground. And again, dealing with a foot injury that didn't allow him to play at all last week. And despite the fact he didn't necessarily feel great or look great at practice, according to the coaching staff, he gutted this one out and performed at a pretty high level here for Louisville on his senior day here in Louisville, Kentucky. Hand off to Boykins on the left side. He'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down. And with Moss, you know, we documented his story. We've been here a couple of times this year, Rod. Was at USC, and it didn't work out there with him and Lincoln Riley. Interestingly enough, one of his best games in a USC uniform was at the Holiday Bowl against Louisville. He threw for 6 touchdowns, and that was something that at least certainly put him on the radar for Louisville and Coach Brom. Coach Brom told us the story earlier this year that had not come up in their conversations while they were recruiting him out of the portal. And then they went to the Kentucky Derby, and Miller's girlfriend brought it up to Coach Brom, and he kind of laughed it off a little bit. But Miller certainly has had a stellar college career. 4th and 1 here for Louisville, and it looks like they're going to punt this one. David Chapeau out there. By the way, the special teams unit has also played a big role today for Louisville, amongst many other things. This one takes a Louisville bounce. It's still rolling inside the 10, inside the 5. And that's the kind of day it's been for Louisville. Everything is going their way. David Chapeau with an excellent punt there. 41-0. Title game. We'll see how those games fare here this evening. Kentucky straight ahead with Jason Patterson. Cutter Boley still in the game. He is not quitting on this team. And he's saying, you know what, I'm going to fight to the end with my brothers. And again, incredibly admirable. I'm all with it. Like I said this earlier, I know he's had a rough game today, but Cutter Boley can play on my team all day, every day.
Yeah, he's my type of quarterback that I would like to go to battle with too, George. You know, this says a lot, you know, to be out here to the final minute, to that thing strike 0, despite the deficit, still out there with the guys.
Yep. I appreciate his efforts, man, for sure. Patterson, rather, excuse me, straight ahead again. It'll be 3rd down upcoming.
Being a hometown kid, I know this game means a lot to him. Not only being the quarterback, but being from this area.
Time is ticking here.
What a job by this Cardinals defense and these seniors to go out in this facet is an amazing feeling.
No doubt, and they stop him there, and that'll be it. Jason Patterson again. Louisville's going to go on to win. Louisville, 2 100-yard rushers for Louisville today. The unlikeliest of rushing heroes in Braxton Jennings and Sean Boykins Jr., a converted wide receiver and a walk-on. Jennings with 113 yards, Boykins with 101. You see the 2 coaches there trading pleasantries. But back to those 2 running backs. The first time Louisville had 2 100-plus rushers since last year against Kentucky was Isaac Brown and Duke Watson. The largest victory in this rivalry's history for Louisville, and the first shutout since 2004. Victoria's got Coach Brom.
Back-to-back Governor's Cup champions. How does it feel, Coach?
Well, it's a great win for us. You know, I'm proud of our team. We responded. We've had a tough couple of weeks, and some guys are out, and some new guys stepped in, and we just played hard. I'm really proud of the defense and even the offense. We executed. We ran the ball even with new guys. Quarterback played well. I just think it was a really good win for us, a good win for our fans.
And you talk about young guys stepping up. Braxton Jennings went from a walk-on to having 113 yards today. What impressed you the most about the freshman?
Well, you know what? He's come in here and he's worked hard and he's had a great attitude. And we thought maybe down the road he could turn into a pretty good player for us. And he had to step up faster than, you know, maybe we would like for him to. But he did a really good job. And even Sean Boykins, another converted wide receiver we moved over there in the spring, stepped in, did a good job. Our O-line has done a good job all year, run blocking. We got to have some balance, and we came through today and we're able to do that.
And when you look back at this whole season and even today, what are you most proud of with your team?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we handled adversity well. You know, we had a stretch there where we won 10 out of 11, then we lost a couple games right at the wire that really, maybe they were painful, and then last week was not a good week for us overall. We had some guys out, our quarterback, but you know what? These guys worked hard all week. I credit the attitude they've had. They want to win. You know, to come here and to win like this against a good SEC opponent, it's a great win for us, and hopefully we can build on it.
Well done, Coach. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Victoria, thank you to Coach Brom. Louisville with the win today. 8 or more wins for the 4th straight season. They blank Kentucky for the first time in the Governor's Cup Series since 2004. They win 41-0. For our entire crew here, our production crew led by Todd Jones, our spotter, Ted Kozak, statistician, Joe Castellano, for Rodney McLeod and Victoria Arlen. I'm George Sedano. Let's send it to the Huddle crew.